What is going on, guys? Joey Franzo here, FLEXX Training Systems, and this is the last video that I'm going to put out before I go to Nationals. Actually, I might do one more if I have time, which maybe I'll do it at the airport or something. I don't know. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I don't really hear people talk too much about, but it was briefly discussed back in the day. It was something that it really helped me many years ago gain a certain perspective on just training, programming, genetics, like applying stress to people, things like that. You guys may have heard of a program many years ago. I mean, I guess some people still do it rarely. I have not heard about it. I mean, no, it was way more popular like 10 years ago. I'm sure you guys have heard of something called Smolov, right? What is Smolov? Smolov is a famous squat program. It works for bench too, and there's extremely minimal deadlifting, and it is basically a shit ton of volume, a shit ton of frequency, and it's all percentage based. It's really hard. Anybody that's done it will tell you they've experienced pain in areas that they did not know was possible. It is truly like one of the hardest programs I think that exists. But if you can survive it, you will probably most likely be stronger by the end of it. There's a lot of problems with something like that because it is all percentage based and it is like set in stone, and some people are just not going to be able to tolerate it. I remember when I first got into powerlifting, a lot of my friends in that time were doing that, and some of them it worked really well for, but I think the people that had the best results had to modify it quite a bit for their needs, which is not the easiest thing to do. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that today, also you guys may have heard of Shaiko. It's like in the same kind of realm. I wanted to talk about that today because, me and some of my smart friends back then, I'm still friends with them today, we used to say like, well, why does this stuff work, right? Like, why is this a thing, right? And what we kind of have come to the conclusion, and this also kind of works for bodybuilding, is if you have like an incredibly difficult program that most people can't handle, right? Let's take a sample of 100 people and you give them all, Smolov, and maybe during the course of the entire thing, like 98% of them end up getting hurt, and you have like one or two people that actually complete it, right? It's possible nobody completes it out of that sample size. It might be 1 out of 1,000, right? But let's say, people actually complete it. They go all the way to the end and they get results. They get strong from it. Now people are like, oh my God, look at this freakishly strong lifter. What are they doing for training? Oh, they're doing Smolov. Well, shit, this guy's really fucking good. Like, we should probably try that too. And then what happens is the program gets blown way out of proportion because you have a genetic freak that's just very durable and probably built for SBD or SB in this case, or just S. And they make it all the way to the end. They make the program look really good. Everybody wants to know what they're doing. And then they try the program and they find out like, wow, like I simply cannot do this program. It is way harder than I thought it was going to be. And that whole sequence of, the few that survive the program, that live to tell the tale, are the ones that get all the glory. And then other people see that and think, hey, if I do this, I can be like that too. They try to do this program. That person gets, that person's obviously very strong now, so they're getting a lot of attention. Maybe they have a coach at the time and they're like getting attention from that too. I don't know. And then everybody thinks that this program, at least in the beginning, is like the end all be all. This is the ultimate like squat progression, like whatever. But literally, like, most people can't do it. I promise you right now, most people can't do it. Like, they're going to die. Like, it's going to break you. You'd have to be extremely elite and trained and just like probably a smaller lifter to be able to tolerate all that, right? There's a couple issues with that there because it kind of reminds me of like things that people see on social media, right? Like I was just telling one of my guys yesterday, I said, there's going to be somebody who runs Smolov that does great with it. There's going to be people that do percentage based, extreme intensity, extreme volume, no deviation. And there's going to be somebody that does well with that. There's going to be people that do really well with RPE, which is where I choose to really put a lot of my energy and time. Clearly the results are working, right? Like, I mean, just being able to like go based on how you feel is such an amazing thing. Without sandbagging too much, of course. You're gonna be able to find somebody that runs any kind of program. Fuck, you could take like myself, for example. There's some like very generic cookie cutter programs that are out there on the internet that I could probably run and just slap RPE on it and like change a couple things and I probably get progress, right? Like, that's just one of the great things about RPE. But the point is, you're going to find all kinds of strong lifters that do all kinds of things. Some of them do stupid things. Like this is just not a smart thing to do, and they're going to get results. Some people are going to do, amazing things, and they don't get the best results, right? So it's very hard for new people coming in or people that just don't know. Like, they're going to see these things, and unless they come at it, like, pragmatically with, like, somewhat of evidence and just really pay attention to, like, what really is going on here? Is this person a genetic freak, or like, is this program truly amazing? You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of different things that go into it. Now, one thing that really gives me like faith in what I'm doing is I have multiple lifters on the team. They started out with like 400 followers. Nobody knew about them. They, like completely unknown. Nobody cared about them, and then I can build these people up over time. And I've done this with like numerous, like so many people, right? Like literally they get stronger, they create opportunities. Then SBD starts looking at them, and then King of the List is posting them. Now they're getting caught like crazy. And then they kind of get their feet under them and they get that little initial boost, and then they can really take off, right? And I think, of course, like you have to kind of have it, right? You got to kind of have some potential in you. I have lots of lifters. I have some lifters that maybe they make prime time, but they're not close to, like, they're like fifth place. You know what I mean? Like, they're not at that like top level, but they went from not even being able to qualify for nationals to being able to get into prime time. You know what I mean? That's something that is pretty cool to me. And that is unlocking their own potential. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I bring this up is because I have all different types of lifters, some super advanced, some super noob, whatever. And I just feel like if I give like everybody on the team Smolov, fuck man, I would probably have like one person, like maybe one or two people that survive it, maybe three. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? So when you see stuff on the internet and you think, wow, that guy's really strong, wow, they do crazy volume, wow, they go crazy intensity, whatever, you just got to really understand. And I know it's so hard because I feel like kids, especially younger lifters, are programmed to have that grass is greener mentality, right? Like, they look at other people, they see what they're doing. They might be in a down week. They get a little bit of fatigue. They start freaking out. They look at other people and they go, man, I need to be doing that. Like, whatever I'm doing fucking sucks. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the case at all. It doesn't suck. Some people just need to be more patient. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and in bodybuilding, for example, you get a lot of these, like back in the day, we had like these bodybuilding gurus that didn't know shit. Like, they didn't know anything about like science or how things work. They just knew like push people really, really hard, diet people really, really hard. And like the genetic freaks would like survive it. They would be able to do the diet. They have such amazing genetics that they end up like rising to the top and like creating like this, generation of people that like believe like this is the way to do it. When in reality, that works for like a very specific few freaks, and it cannot work for everybody else, right? And I just want to like, I want people to think about this, right? When you see stuff on the internet, you see something that looks hard, this whole idea of hard training. Like, training should be challenging, yes, but it doesn't have to be like okay, taking a hammer and hitting the big tire and then like flipping it 100 yards and coming back with it, like, and then carrying it back, that's hard, right? Heavy sled pulls are hard. Like, carrying heavy stuff uphill is hard. Like, there's a difference between hard and like intelligent. Like, at the end of the day, training doesn't need to feel incredibly, oh my God, like I'm dying on the Smolov program, I must be making gains. Like if you thought you had a fatigue day, training like how you're training now, like you're going to just have only fatigue days with Smolov, right? For a long, long time, you're going to be fatigued. So it's dangerous. It's just not sustainable. Not being sustainable is like one of the main things. Like after people come out of that program, it's just not sustainable. They don't know how to maintain their strength and it kind of falls off, right? So, that's just something I wanted to talk about. Like, we're going to see stuff on the internet. People are going to, for example, when I do my workshops, right, I show 3 examples of programs. I show one for, I show Amanda, who's like super high work capacity, strong lifter. Then I have Ken, who's like a smaller lifter with like higher frequency. And then I have Jesus, who's completely opposite of both of them. Bigger, stronger lifter, very low frequency, and they all progress like similar, right? And that's just goes to show that like it's not a one size fits all, and hard programs, hard training, right? Like being difficult, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to yield the best results. I've had preps where it wasn't even that hard. Like, I'm going to be honest, the first Arnold I did where I think I squatted 744 and I tried to pull like 683 or something. And I ended up missing that lockout. That Arnold was not hard for me because I was bulking up from, like, I had just barely got like heavy enough to be in the 120s, and then I was bulking up into the 120s. It was such an easy prep. Like, it was just, I couldn't have a bad day. Like, I was just bulking like crazy. You know what I mean? So hard, like I just also want to take that idea of training needs to be super hard. You can train hard. Like, you can, a set of 8 at RPE 7, RPA is pretty, it's difficult, but it's not, just because something is hard doesn't mean it's going to move you forward in the best way possible. Best way possible is hard to achieve, but you just need to be moving forward, So I hope you guys are able to take something away from this. Just be careful of like the guy that runs like the crazy, insanely difficult program. Everybody thinks that's what you need to do. And then like everybody tries it and they all break down and they can't handle it. There's always going to be someone or something that looks like, ooh, that's the Kool-Aid. Ooh, that's the thing. That's the right thing, right? I just had a guy hit me up today. He's with the coach. He wants to leave that coach to come here. But he was saying he was making progress with his coach. He just feels like it could be better. And I'm like, stay with your coach. Like, literally stay with your coach. Like, you're making progress. I know that FLEXX, we have a lot of amazing lifters here, and I've done a lot of like really amazing things with coaching, and we've gone all over the world and like really made it. We fucking changed powerlifting, right? Like, literally. And that doesn't mean that you should leave where you're at to go somewhere else, right? And if you just want to learn from someone else, that's different. But it is something that I see, and I just feel like, I'm sure you could come here and do great, but if you're happy where you're at, and you're getting progress, which so many people aren't, they're plateaued, they're stuck, whatever, I think you shouldn't leave that. Anyway, I'm all over the place this one. We got nationals coming up, we got worlds coming up at the same time. Let me get a hashtag, get the job done, handle business, stuff like that in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.